Hi, I'm Sandy, and welcome to another day in Life with Sandy. Well, hello. Today is Monday, March 27th, and we do have one birthday. Today is Jennifer Chavez, Chavez. Jennifer, happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Jennifer. Happy birthday to you. Cha-cha-cha. Well, I hope you have a great birthday. You get to celebrate it all by yourself. Well, not all by yourself. I'm sure your family's going to share in the joy. And you let me join in too, so thank you. But it's also an anniversary. Today is Roger and Cheryl Rackley, R-A-C-K-L-E-Y. I think it's their 30th anniversary. So Roger and Cheryl, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary, happy anniversary. Happy, 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 happy anniversary. Happy, 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 happy anniversary. Well, I hope you have a great anniversary. 30 years. Very good. Very, very good. It's raining again today. It was really pouring again last night. I'll take it over the snow. I mean, I like snow, but not in March. I'm done with the snow by March, let me tell you. I did my meeting highlights today. The subject this week is how to handle a weight gain. I don't think I've gained any weight during my period of not weighing myself here for the last 5 weeks. I really do think that I'm doing pretty well. And 2 weeks will be the test of how well I did. I think that I might consider just weighing myself every other week. I don't know. I'm just going to see how well I did for this. I really do think I've lost 7 pounds. I really, truly think I've lost my 7 pounds. And so I'm really happy about that. Jim taped. I don't watch a lot of old movies, unlike Jim, who watches old movies constantly. I do like Jimmy Stewart, so there's a couple movies of Jimmy Stewart's that I will watch when they're on. And he taped for me the Glenn Miller story, because I love Glenn Miller music. I have it on my phone. A lot of times when I'm going for a walk, it's part of my, I like the big band music. So I didn't grow up with the big band music. I was born 1950. I think it was kind of like petering out. Elvis was coming into the scene, so the rock and roll was starting. But I do like, I'm really kind of eclectic with my music. I like just about all kinds of music. I can listen to some country music, but I don't really like opera, and I definitely don't like jazz. I have not heard one jazz song that I like, but I like the big band. I like classical. I like my rock and roll. I love my smooth or easy rock. I love all of that stuff. So my music lists on my phone are very eclectic. I have like a lot of different music. I absolutely love like movie themes. I have like movie theme music too, because I have the music theme from The Road to Perdition. I got that. I love that. The Terminal, Fiddler on the Roof, Jesus Christ Superstar, Phantom of the Opera. All the obvious ones. Tommy, The Who, but I like everything. But anyway, so he had taped the Glenn Miller story for me, and I thought, well, I'll try to see how it is. I was watching it. I have never seen the movie. I mean, I've seen little bits and pieces of it when Jim was watching it, but I've never seen it from beginning to end. And it was a pretty good movie. It pretty much held up to the test of how old it was. It was made in 1953, I think. I was 3 years old. So I watched that this afternoon. That was pretty good. I did like that. But like as far as old movies, we all know, To Kill a Mockingbird is my all-time favorite old movie. I like Marty. Now I'm going to add the Glenn Miller. I did like the Glenn Miller story. The Bells of St. Mary. I like that one too. There's not very many old movies that I will watch. Like when I'm saying old, I mean like in the 40s and 50s. There's not too many. I do like the Andy Hardy things with Mickey Rooney. I did like those. So I did watch that. David and Jim Jimmy have already come to put my garbage disposal in. I kept telling Jim, I think we need a new garbage disposal, and he kept saying, no. And it kept leaking, and he kept saying, no, we fixed it. Jimmy came and he fixed it. And so I put a bowl under the drain where the garbage disposal is, just to prove my point that it's leaking. And sure enough, there's water in the bowl. And so I brought him and I showed him. So we went and bought another garbage disposal yesterday. So Jimmy told me he'd come by after work, which he did. I'll show you the clip of Jimmy later on after I'm done talking. But he came over and he called David because he likes to teach David things, because Jim wasn't one to teach his boys how to do anything, which Danny doesn't know how to do anything. So now Jim's trying to teach Danny as he's getting older and he can't get down on his, like on his knees and all that, under sinks and stuff like that. So when Danny needs some help, he'll call Jim and Jim will come over and teach him, like by telling him, but not by showing him. But Jimmy likes to show David. So everything, like when they built the house, he showed him a lot of different things. And so now, like different repairs, he's showing him how to do the little repairs. And then there's a little clip when Jimmy was first born, before he was born, actually, when I was doing his nursery. Jim's mother had made a Raggedy Andy doll, because Raggedy Ann and Raggedy Andy were pretty popular back then. And so she had made him a Raggedy Andy doll. And before he was even born, she kind of knew. I mean, I kept saying all along I knew it was a boy. Back then, you didn't know until the baby was born. The nurses would come in and tell you by the heartbeat, well, I think this is a boy, I think this is a girl. But, they were right every time. With Jimmy and Danny and with Christy, they told me, it's a boy, it's a boy, it's a girl. And they were right. So the heartbeat must have something to do with it. But were there any prenatal nurses or pediatric nurses out there? Is that true, or were they just lucky? Maybe they were just lucky. But because we were watching The Hunt for Red October yesterday, and Alec Baldwin says, oh, he's gonna go to the starboard side because he always does on a half hour. And they said, how did you know that? And he says, it was just a lucky guess. So was it just a lucky guess for these nurses? But they were right every time. So anyway, when I was looking for the crib and stuff for Jimmy's room to decorate it, I found a very eclectic. I've always been eclectic my whole life. But I found a clown that was holding up balloons like that in his hands. And then the biggest balloon was the lampshade. I wish I had a picture of it, because you gotta look online and see if there's any pictures like that of old, because you can find them on eBay and all that stuff nowadays. But I got him that because I really liked it. And Jimmy liked clowns, but he didn't know that at the time because he wasn't born yet. But, it wasn't like it was a scary clown. It was just like a normal clown, which is another thing. I don't understand why kids are afraid of clowns. Unless it's a mean clown, then I guess. But for like Melky the Clown and Bozo the Clown, how can you be afraid of them? I don't know. But anyway, when we were shopping looking for the crib, I found this cute poster, which was pink, that said a hippopotamus. And Jim says, well, we can't get that because you keep saying you're having a boy, and that's pink. And I go, well, it'll balance the room out. And if it's a girl, it'll be fine. But if it's a boy, it's a hippopotamus. It's a girl hippopotamus. What difference does it make? So I had bought him this one hippopotamus sign, which is really big. And it's, over the years, I just thought, we always had it when we moved on to our other house in Thornton. It was on the bottom of the basement. So when you went down the basement stairs, the first thing you saw was this picture of the one hippopotamus just standing, like hanging on the wall. And then somehow it just got lost. So never paid that much attention to it. And so Cindy was cleaning out some stuff, and she found the sign, and so she gave it to Jimmy. So it was supposed to be his Christmas present, but they forgot to give it to him. So I'll show you the video of him opening that. But it was, I lost things in the move. I cannot find any of the love letters that Jim sent me. I saved every letter that he ever gave me, and I have no idea where they're at. They must have got lost in the move. It must have been a box I didn't bring with me or something. Now, I found my mother's and my father's love letters to each other. I don't know how I had those. Those are from the 40s. I got those, but the love letters from Jim and I in the 60s, those are gone. I don't know where that is. And then I've told you before, Jim's mother saved his little Rudolph reindeer that he had as a baby, and somehow we lost that on the move too. So anyway, it's just, it brings back good memories, but, it would be nice to have some letters I could read and just see how foolishly in love we were back then. Not that I'm not in love now, but, I think young love is different than old love. I think as you get older, your love changes for people. It doesn't go away. Well, I mean, sometimes it goes away, but in my case, it didn't go away. And it does get stronger. I understand that, but it's not the same kind of love. It's just kind of, I don't know. sometimes it's a tolerant love. After you've been married, like what, we're going on 52 years this year. Sometimes it's a tolerant love, but it doesn't make it it's nonetheless still a love. I still love Jim with all my heart, and I can't even imagine living my life without him. And I know he loves me, but it's just, if anybody can explain it to me if you've been together for a while, because it's different. It's just different. I can't even explain it any better than that it's different. It's stronger, but it's different. I don't know how I got on that rant, but anyway, maybe just thinking about how old that picture was, realizing how long I've been with Jim. I've been with Jim since 1967, so we've been together for what, 56 years, so it's a long time to live something with your life with somebody, and still love them, not that I loved Jim right from the beginning, but, because I've told you I didn't like Jim. I thought he was, like, useless. He was my best friend's boyfriend, and I kind of stole him away from her. And we're still friends to this day. Well, her name is Sue, and we're just really good friends. And she found her true love, and Jim was my true love, and it just worked out better for both of us. And we stayed friends even through all of that. Well, we had our little debacle during high school. We had that little bit of a strain until she met Matt, which was the guy she ended up marrying. But it's just... it's the way the world runs. It's just the way it goes, and I'm just happy that we were able to stay friends, and then that I found and I don't really like the soulmate. The soulmate thing kind of gets me. It really does kind of get me, the soulmate thing, because I think that, I found my soulmate. Well, what if my soulmate was really living in Denver, and I'm living in Detroit? How do I know that how is it just coincidental that my soulmate lives in the same city as me? Not to say that you can't fall in love with somebody. I don't mean it to sound like that. But somebody says, that they're my soulmate. I just knew it. Like God put it. I don't know. When I was little, my dad always said, look at the moon because your future husband's looking at the same moon. And I always thought, yeah, okay, Dad, you're nuts. But it was true. At some point, Jim and I could have been looking at the moon at the same time. So anyway, through all of the things that went on in my life, I've always focused on the positive things in my life. I am not saying that my whole marriage has been all a bed of roses, because you're with somebody for 56 years. You're going to have a lot of ups and downs. You're going to have a lot of bumps in the road, and you just can't dwell on the negative aspects, because there are times, and there were times during my marriage that, I thought, why am I with you? You are not my soulmate. But you give it a minute, and then you realize, this was just a little glitch in the road. This is just a little slippery patch that we've hit right now. We'll get over it. Now, obviously, some people don't get over it, and I feel bad for those people. But Jim and I never separated through our whole marriage. I mean, we've had some issues. All marriages have issues, and if you say that you don't, I think that you're kind of like fooling yourself thinking that, because it's impossible to live with somebody all the time and not get annoyed with them. At some point, not constantly. I don't mean like every day get annoyed with them, but sometimes you just get a little annoyed. Sometimes, even now, some of the habits that Jim's developed over the years, as I have developed habits over the years, I think grind on each other's nerves. And we kind of tolerate it because we love each other. And I guess we're like penguins. Penguins mate for life. And I guess I'm mating for life. I just have every intention of staying with Jim the rest of my life. So sometimes you just got to overlook. You take the good, you take the bad. You just do, you just do. And it's the same with your weight loss, It's easy to focus on the negative things like, oh, I did this so badly and I did that and I should have had this and I should have done that and I could have measured this out a little bit better. And, we can always focus on the negative aspects that got us to the weight that we were or are right now. And we could dwell on them, but it's not going to change the fact that you either gained a lot of weight, or you can just think, I gained a lot of weight because I gained 50 pounds. I gained a lot of weight, but kind of learned from why I did and not focus so much on why I gained it. Well, not focus so much on the fact that I gained it, I guess, is to think about why I gained it, why I did this. Same with your marriages or your friendships or anything like that. If you're focusing on the negative aspect of the friendship or the marriage, ask yourself, why am I focusing on that? Isn't there something positive that I can focus on? there's going to be all kinds of negatives in our life. We just have to realize that sometimes you have to look at the negatives to appreciate the positives. Because in my life, the few negatives I've had surely aren't equal to the positives I've had in my life. I've had so many positives in my life that if I was to sit down and write down on a piece of paper all the negatives on my paper of negative things that happened to me in my life, I honestly can tell you it would be a short list. It would still be a list. Don't get me wrong. I still would have a list. It's not like I'm going to sit here and think, oh, I can't think of one negative thing that ever happened to me in my whole life. No, I can think of a lot of negative things. But if I was to do a negative column and a positive column, the negative might take up one side of the paper, but the positive would take up pages, because I've had a very good life. And I've learned to accept that sometimes some of the negative things just can't be helped. And you have to just realize, is this something worth dwelling on or just moving on? And a lot of times I just felt this is not worth dwelling on. It's just better to move on. And so that's what I do. So, well, let me show you the food I had to eat today. I'll show you Jimmy and David when they get here, or they've already been here, but I'll show you that when they did arrive, they got my garbage disposal. Jim told Jimmy, just put the bottom part of the disposal, leave all the fittings and everything, don't change any of the fittings. That's not the way Jimmy does work, which is good, because he took the whole garbage disposal out, all the fixture, all the fittings, everything, and put all brand new ones in, which to me, you bought a brand new garbage disposal. Why are you going to keep all the old parts when we don't even realize it or know when we bought the old garbage disposal? So it just makes more sense to me, and I'm glad that he did it. I told him, I said, your dad said you don't have to do all of the gizmos, just put the actual machine part on it. And when we got done, he said, no, I wanted to show David how to do it, and we did it. So now instead of going, I go, okay, now I'm being silly. Okay, let me show you my food, show you Jimmy and David, and tell you to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and I will talk to you guys tomorrow. All right, for breakfast, we're going to have some Aunt Millie's toast and some berries in that. Today is Monday, March 27th. I got the 26th. Today's the 27th. Every decision you make, this has an impact on your future. For breakfast, I'm going to have 2 slices of Aunt Millie's toast, a Laughing Cow cheese, an ounce of cheese, tea, orange, banana, egg, and raspberries. So, fix this to the 27th, and let's go eat breakfast. Who's coming?
David.
There's my hard-working son.
Yeah. I told Danny when we were golfing yesterday, I'm like, if I pass away before any of you guys are screwed.
Jimmy's our handyman. Well, maybe you should have had Danny come over. You could have taught him.
I tried. He's like, nope, I'm good.
Yeah. You forgot Alyssa.
Yeah.
You're in big trouble now. Big trouble.
Here, let's put the garbage disposal in.
Okay. He's going to learn how to do it so that, see, Jim, I'll have David to do it for me once you're gone.
Yeah. There's one. Take that down.
Did your dad teach you, or did you learn on your own?
Both. I learned that. Talking to me or him?
Yeah, no, I know that you're teaching David, but your dad didn't teach too much stuff.
No. No, mine was pretty much, oh, that broke and it's going to cost how much to fix? I'll figure it out. This gift on March 27th.
From
David, Mom, Cindy.
From David, Cindy,
Alyssa.
and Alyssa. Where the hell did you find this?
Is it Alyssa's room?
Oh, that's awesome. You had no clue what this is,
No.
dude.
I mean, my mom told me.
Huh?
Mom told me.
I thought this was gone forever.
it's showing its age.
Bam.
Bam! It's got a hole in it, too.
Got a hole in it, but...
Explain what it is.
That hung above my crib.
Yep. It's over 50 years old.
This is way over 50 years old.
Okay, for dinner tonight, we're going to have a baked piece of chicken with some iced tea and a sugar-free Jell-O for dessert, a baked potato, a tablespoon of sour cream, about a half a tablespoon of cheese on top of the potato, and my tomato, avocado, cucumber salad. This is going to be my recipe of the week. It's actually a dip, but I'm going to eat it as a side dish. So there's my dinner for tonight.